A brand new Datacron set means a brand new meta and a new King of the Hill. Who's it going to be? What's up, Knights of X, and welcome to the Datacron set 23 review, where today we're going to talk about every aspect of the new Datacron set and talk about the brand new focused Datacrons that have just been introduced to the game. Good news, they're not as broken as what we're currently dealing with Darkseid Ray and the Hermit Yoda Datacron, but that doesn't mean they're going to be bad. They're still going to have a use in the meta, and there's a couple of ones that I'm really looking forward to that I'm going to recommend that you guys go for. So for today's video, we're going to break down the stats, the level 3s, the level 6s, the level 9s, the dark side alignment, the light side alignment. We're going to talk about all of that today, as well as the focus Datacrons. And at the end, I'm going to have a little bit of a cheat sheet of what I recommend you should go for each and every team and character. So let's get right into it, guys. But before we get into it, I want to just say, if you enjoy my content and you want to support me further, leave a like in the video and subscribe to the channel, guys. That is the best way to support me. So let's get the Datacron set 23 review started with the stats. Starting out with the stats, in my opinion, there are three clear winners for what I will be going for the majority of my teams. Number one being critical damage as being one of the more important stats. Having high critical damage on a team is very game-changing. Being able to just nuke out your opponent and get those big crits are very good, and I do like the stacking that comes along with it. So I think critical damage is going to be a no-brainer. Second, health. Health with this set, with Ray and protection up synergies are going to be insane. So the more max health you have, it converts to that bonus protection up you're going to get in the level 3. That's pretty impactful, so health is going to be just as important, as well as protection. All tanky stats are very good to have, so health and protection alone in a set, very helpful for JML as well. So I like those stats the most in this set. In terms of the decent, tenacity is always nice to have on some of your Datacrons, or if you want to go really hard on one Datacron that has a lot of high tenacity, it could shut down a lot of counters, like a Jabba loves tenacity. If you cannot able to land debuffs on Jabba, you're in for a long ride, and Jabba's going to be back on defense this season, so tenacity might be good there. And then critical avoidance is also a pretty decent stat to have. I don't think it outweighs any of the other three in the good category, but some crons with good critical avoidance, not being able to crit your opponent, is pretty nice to have, so I would get a couple of those. And in terms of the bad, I still don't think critical chance is ever going to come out of the bad category. It does not overpower any of the other stats listed on the left. It's just not as good. And health steal, for the most part, for the majority of teams, are not going to be impactful. The only teams that are going to really benefit from health steal will be like a Lord Vader team or a Rey team. That's it. Any other team, I'm just not going to consider that to be, reliable. If your team is relying on health steal and they have no protection, it's not going to be a good situation for them. So that's going to wrap up the stats, guys. Very easy. Let's get it into the dark side level 3s. Starting out with the Darkseid level 3s, I think Darkseid continue to get shafted each and every set with level 3s. I don't know why, but they have a real big hard-on for Lightside. But Darkseid has two clear winners in my opinion. Nothing game-breaking, but pretty nice to have. The first one is going to be whenever Darkseid allies are dispelled, at the end of that turn, they gain Potency Up and Tenacity Up. It's a repeat of last set. Tenacity Up is one of the strongest buffs in the game, as well as Potency Up is also very nice to have. You're going to be able to land your debuffs. The only thing is that for Darkseid teams, I don't know how impactful it's going to be, but compared to the rest, guys, this one's pretty good to have. Any team that is not very debuff heavy, you're going to want to have a Potency Up and Tenacity Up, because it can stop you from being stunned or inflicted with dots or something like that. Very, very good. The one that's really good that I think is going to be for the majority of teams is going to be this one, which is Darkseid. Whenever Darkseid allies inflict at least 4 debuffs in a turn, they have a 10% chance stacking to reduce their cooldowns by 1 for each debuff they inflicted that turn, limit once per turn. I'm thinking Sith Empire, I'm thinking Lord Vader, I'm thinking Nightsisters, ton of debuff heavy teams. There's a bunch of Darkseid debuff heavy teams. Going to reduce their cooldowns, which is very important. Lord Vader with a big AoE, that's almost a guarantee to reduce his cooldowns. It's a crazy, very good level 3. Clear winner for the Darkseid this set. Then the decent category. Whenever I see this type of Datacron level 3, I always put it in the decent because it's very situational, just not my go-to. This one reads, whenever Darkseid allies grant a buff to another ally, that other ally recovers 3% health and protection. GAC, banners, health and protection recovery, that's how you get your banners back. Could be situational for certain times and matchups, but for the most part, not going to want a lot of them, just a couple or 1 or 2, just for that situational moment where you need the banners in Grand Arena. The other one that I'm putting in the decent category is whenever dark side allies start their turn, for each enemy with fewer than 4 debuffs, that ally gains 30% potency till the end of that turn. This one's actually more impactful than I previously thought in other sets. Having that added potency in the beginning is nice to be able to land those debuffs, and if you're starting the turn with less than 4, or the enemy has less than 4, it's very nice to have. So being able to have that extra potency can be pretty nice. I'd get a couple of these. And in my opinion, the only one that's kind of bad, because it's just so situational, is whenever dark side allies are evaded by an enemy, that ally gains accuracy up for 2 turns. They inflict evasion down for 2 turns on the enemy, which cannot be evaded. We don't have an evasion meta that badly right now. There's no dodge chance like that. Maybe in a situation against an Ezra where he's really hard to hit, but it's not going to outweigh any of these other ones in my opinion, so this one is in the bad category. That's going to conclude the dark side. We're now going to move on to the light side level 3s. So light side level 3s, once again, CG just continues to make the light side level 3s the most broken thing about the sets from last set to now this set. The level 3s, 2 of them are very, very good, but there's going to be one clear one that you're going to want to get for the majority of your teams, and it's the first one, guys. The first time each light side ally reaches 75%, 50%, or 25% health, grant them protection up 50% for 2 turns, can't be dispelled or prevented. This is really obnoxious. Really good for Kenobi, really good for Rey, gonna be good for Leia, good for Ahsoka if you have a very fast Ezra. This one's gonna be the go-to. It's just unfathomable how annoying this is and how many teams benefit from this. Every light side team is gonna benefit from this. It's such a strong level 3. You gotta get it. This has to be the majority of your level 3s. The second one, which is really good because it's gonna shut down a couple of counters, is gonna be the light side allies start their turn with 25% turn meter. You're gonna want some of these. You're definitely gonna want some of these. If your opponent has a great mother counter against your Ahsoka, and they have the speeds in check, you want to shut them down? You now can, because you're going to have an unlimited amount of 25% turn meter light side crons. So definitely get a couple of these. It's going to be good for resistance, like a Finn team, and really good to stop great mothers against Ahsoka. So those are the 2 clear winners for light side. Then the one I put in the decent category, because it's very situational, is whenever light side allies inflict a debuff on an enemy, they deal damage to the enemy equal to 2% of the enemy's max health. This I typically always put with Bausch Leia on a Jabba team. She can get the contract really fast, and she does a lot of damage. So I like putting this in the decent. Not really that impactful for other light side characters, but the reason why it's in the decent category is specifically for the Jabba team, so that's why that's there. Next one I put in the decent category, and I really don't think it's anything that crazy, is at the beginning of their turn, light side allies have 25% chance to dispel all debuffs on themselves. To be honest with you, that's not a very good chance. It's 1 in 4, and this will never outweigh the other 2 in the strong category any day of the week. It's just not even close. I cannot compare it to the other 2. And the only bad one, this is literally just to waste your reroll mats or make you get reroll mats. It's whenever light side allies recover 2% health whenever they critically hit an enemy. Not impactful, not good. I don't recommend it for any team. So that's gonna wrap up the light side. We're now gonna move on to the character level 6s. Starting out with the faction level 6, we're going to start with the Resistance faction, and they got some pretty good ones. There's actually a lot of good ones that I really like, but 2 of them that I think are clear winners. The first one, and it's going to be a little bit of a surprise, is whenever a debuff on an enemy expires, Resistance allies gain 2% offense, doubled if that debuff was dispelled until the end of the battle. Now, I'm not sure if you guys remember, way back in the day, this Datacron level 6 was in the past. There was a certain Rey comp where you would put down like Echo, Rex, and maybe Dash Rendar, or some other variant with maybe with like Reva or something like that. Rey would get into Ultimate, and there was no surviving. She would nuke your entire team. So I'm hoping to bring that back with this Datacron set. The only caveat to that is that there's no offense as a stat to ramp up your offense even more. So maybe it's a little bit more controlled, but if you guys have a Rey that's modded for offense and they're cleansing all those debuffs from like Captain Rex or Echo, her ultimate is going to one-shot your team. So get prepared for that. It's going to be a different meta with Rey, and I think that's going to be the cron you're going to want to go for Rey. So that one is specific for a Rey team with a certain comp. That's why I think it's in the strong. The second one that's going to be for the majority of all your Resistance teams is going to be whenever a Resistance ally uses a special ability during their turn, They stun the target enemy for 1 turn, which cannot be evaded or resisted. Very good for a Zori resistance team. Very good for maybe, you could even use this with like a Leia team, because R2 is a droid. So he doesn't necessarily have to use his basic ability to stun. He could use his stealth mechanic, he could use his burning, and he's going to stun an enemy. So there's a lot of resistance teams that have overlaps with other factions. So keep an eye on that. It's going to be really good. Not being able to be evaded or resisted is a strong mechanic. And the other one I'm including in the strong category is because if you can get a turn meter train going with a Zori resistance team and you don't have the stun level 6, you could probably get even more turn meter with this one. If you keep hitting exposes, that's just going to keep granting you 2% turn meter. I know it's only 2%, but that can ramp up over time. And that team already has an absurd amount of turn meter generation. So you might not be able to take a turn if you're the enemy team. So that's why it's in the strong. And the 2 decent, I think, are just, they're not bad. They're just not going to ever outweigh the other ones. And that's going to be the first time each resistance ally falls below 50% health. All resistance allies reduce their cooldowns by 1 and gain 10% turn meter. It's not bad. It's not bad at all, but it's just not going to outweigh the other 3. And then the other one is another turn meter manipulation one, is whenever a resistance ally grants a buff to another ally, that ally gains 10% turn meter limit once per turn. Again, turn meter gain is great, but it's just no way going to outmatch the other 3 in the strong category. So that's why it's listed in the decent. That's going to wrap up the resistance level 6 faction. We're now going to move on to the Inquisitorious. Starting out the Inquisitors or the Inquisitorious level 6, there's clearly 2, in my opinion, that are really good, but one that's going to literally be the one you want to go for, and it's going to be called the Wordy Inquisitor level 6. What it reads is, whenever Inquisitor ally inflicts a stack of Purge, they gain 5% offense, defense, and stacking for 1 turn. That's very strong. It's only 1 turn, but it's still very strong. Whenever a stack of Purge is consumed or dispelled by an enemy, expose them for 1 turn. That's a great mechanic. Whenever Inquisitor ally uses a basic ability against an enemy inflicted with a stack of Purge, a random other Inquisitor ally assists, dealing 5% bonus damage per stack of Purge, and then they inflict a stack of Purge max 6 on target enemy, which cannot be evaded. Imagine calling Grand Inquisitor to assist on an enemy that has 6 stacks of Purge, dealing more damage, and he is able to hit 3 times, or he calls someone else to assist. That's a very strong level 6. Inquisitors are going to be very annoying this season. Maybe on defense, we're going to have to save, and that's going to be the one you want to go for. The next one I want to include is whenever an enemy is defeated by Inquisitor ally, that enemy can't be revived. Personally, I think this one is going to be the one you want for Territory War, not necessarily Grand Arena, because there's not an instant kill in Grand Arena like TW. So let's say you're bringing in a Grand Inquisitor team, and you have the Omicron applied, and you have whenever an enemy is defeated, they cannot be revived. That's pretty good against teams that have revive mechanics. That's really not bad to have. I think you want to have at least one of these in your arsenal, just in case. It could be very situational. I do like that mechanic. Next one for the decent is whenever an Inquisitor ally deals damage to an enemy, no other enemy is blinded, inflict blind for 2 turns on target enemy, which cannot be resisted. I think for me, personally, this is going to be go right for Marok and a Balin lineup. That's why I'm putting it in the decent category. I don't think Marok is going to benefit any from the other 2, because you're going to really need a lot of other Inquisitor allies for the wordy one, and Balin in Grand Arena already has an anti-revive mechanic in his leadership. So I think for the Marok Balin lineup, you're going to want to go for the blind, and that's why it's in the decent category. Next one that's decent is whenever Inquisitor allies start their turn with fewer than 2 buffs, all other allies gain 50% turn meter. The only thing with this is that the Inquisitors already gained a ton of buffs from Grand Inquisitor's second special, that it's not going to really come into play. But possibly for a Balin lineup, if Marok is not gaining a ton of buffs, I tested it before, he only gains 1 buff in his first turn, he's going to be giving everyone else 50% turn meter. It does not really tie to just Inquisitors, it's all other allies. So that is something that is pretty decent, but not game breaking. And the only one that I have in the bad category is whenever Inquisitor ally deals damage to an enemy, and no other enemy is marked, inflict mark for 1 turn on the target enemy, which cannot be evaded or resisted. Mark is a very good debuff, but if you look at the other abilities for the Inquisitors, it's just never going to outweigh the other ones. If you really want to mark someone, it's just not good. You're going to have to deal with a target anyway. So that's going to wrap up the Inquisitorious level 6, guys. We're now going to move on to Nightsisters. Now we got to talk about Nightsisters, and they're actually one of my favorite factions in the game at the moment, specifically because of Great Mother, so this is pretty exciting. Nothing really super game-breaking or changing, but there's some that are pretty strong, in my opinion. And the first one is going to be, at the start of their first turn, Nightsister allies gain offense equal to 400% of their current defense until the end of the battle. Then they lose 50% defense until the end of the battle. So that's just going to amplify their damage. So bigger hits from Great Mothers, bigger hits from your Nightsister team like Talzin and Marin, Asajj Ventress. They could be hitting pretty hard. I think that's going to be the go-to for your Nightsister team. And then the next one I put in the strong category because there is a way, if you use Great Mothers, they cannot get touched. So they don't get hit, a majority of them. So they're going to be granting them a bunch of buffs. And that is at the start of each Nightsister ally's turn, if they have not taken damage since their last turn, they gain offense up and critical chance up for 1 turn. Extra offense up is pretty nice. So if I wanted to take out a Ahsoka team and I'm using Great Mothers and my Nightsisters did not get hit with any damage, that extra offense up might be helpful for taking out an Ahsoka that has a Wat Tambor, a tank tech, or a tanky Ezra. It's very nice to have. Situational because you can't get hit, but I still think it's stronger than the other two. The other one in the decent is whenever Nightsister allies stun an enemy, they gain speed up, offense up for 2 turns, inflict expose for 2 turns at the end of that turn, which can't be evaded. The reason I put this in the decent category is because it doesn't really apply to all Nightsisters. Only a couple Nightsisters have a stun. So you got Asajj on her basic, Old Daka on a basic. We have Spirit on her first special, but I might be missing some other ones, but the point is that not every Nightsister is going to have a stun mechanic in their kit, so I don't want the level 6 to be wasted on only a few characters when the other ones can be applied to all characters, so that's why it's in the decent category. And the only one that I have as bad is whenever Nightsister allies are revived, they gain protection up 25% for 2 turns and 25% 2 meter and reduce their cooldowns by 1. If you're in a situation where you're relying on revives to give you the win, you're probably not in a good spot. Unless you're doing Nightsisters against the Jabba, cheese kind of thing, and I don't even think you want them to revive in that situation. I don't think that level 6 is going to outweigh any of the other ones listed above, so that's why it's in the bad category. That's going to wrap up the Nightsister level 6. Now we got to talk about Ewoks, guys, and it's kind of crazy that they're even included. So, Ewoks. We gotta talk about Ewoks. And, spoiler warning, in my opinion, none of this is gonna make them a defensive or offensive team in Kyber 1. Like, I'm sorry. I know they're trying, but there's nothing on here that's gonna prevent them from getting annihilated from most teams. So, but on paper, they have some pretty strong ones, so I'm gonna list them. The first one is, whenever an Ewok ally attacks out of turn, each Ewok ally gains 2% offense, stacking 100% max for until the end of the battle. That's on paper, that's insane. So if they can get to the point where they can attack out of turn and survive, then yeah, they're gonna hit pretty hard. But what team is not gonna walk over them before they even take a turn? That's the problem. The other strong one is Ewok allies gain retribution for 3 turns, which cannot be dispelled. So if you do a counterattack or an AoE on a Ewok team and they all counterattack with retribution and do basics with Chirpa's leadership, that's a ton of turn meter. So that's why it's strong, but still not going to game break any, it's not going to change anything. Then the other one that reads really strong on paper is at the start of each turn, if non-Galactic Legend Ewok allies have 50% or turn meter or 50% or more turn meter, damage they receive is reduced by 75% until the end of the turn. Maybe this stalls out the inevitable with Ewoks. Maybe you can't do a Wampa solo. It's going to stop Wampa. You got to bring in another decent team. But it's just not going to do anything, guys. I'm sorry. It's just not. Then the next decent one is whenever an Ewok ally defeats an enemy, they take a bonus turn. Good luck getting an Ewok team to defeat anyone. Especially at the end game. I'm talking specific end game. Maybe if you guys are, mid, or maybe a rhodium or chromium, maybe you get Ewoks to work, and I don't even recommend working on these Datacrons for Ewoks. It's just not going to be impactful. And wow, this might be the worst level 6 of the entire set. At the end of their turn, Ewok allies recover 50% protection if they are afflicted with at least 5 debuffs that turn. I mean, why is this even printed? This is a slap in the face. Imagine re-rolling and getting this 3 times. Like, absolutely not. That is the worst level 6 of the entire set. So, don't even think about it. But Ewoks in general, I'm going to say are skippable. But if you're an Ewok lover and you want to go for, an Ewok team, I'm recommending the offense stacking 1 level 6. But that's going to wrap up the faction level 6, guys. We're now going to get into the faction level 9s. Time to talk about the level 9 for the Resistance, and there's one that's clearly very strong, one you're going to see a little bit later. But the one clear winner for the Resistance in the strong category is Rose Tico on a Finn team. It reads, whenever Rose uses Dauntless Bravery, inflict expose on the target enemy for 2 turns, which cannot be evaded or resisted. Whenever Rose uses Shock Prod Strike, when the stun is dispelled or expires, inflict Deathmark for 1 turn, which cannot be evaded or resisted. Whenever Rose uses a basic ability on an enemy with expose, dispel all buffs on that enemy and debuffs on herself, recover 100% protection, and gain 5% critical damage, stacking max 200%. This ties in very well with the stun level 6. So if you use Shock Prod Strike, which it says it can't be dispelled, it's also not going to be resisted on the level 6. So that's a really good synergy there. Deathmark is a very good mechanic. I think Zori Resistance team with a Rose Tico level 9 are going to be doing some really amazing things this season. So I recommend getting this one. It's one of the best Resistance ones. Then the next one that I put in the decent category is whenever it's Jedi Training Rey. Whenever she gains Foresight, she's gaining turn meter and protection up 200% stacking for 2 turns. That's pretty strong because she's constantly getting Foresight. At the end of her turn, she's always getting Foresight. So she's going to be gaining a ton of turn meter. If she has Inspire on her, she's going to be building up that evasion. Going to be very hard to hit her. It can be pretty obnoxious for a Rey lineup. So it's pretty decent. Not anything game breaking. Next one I have in the decent category, and I don't really know if it's going to make a place on any Kyber 1 team, but being able to assist, dealing 50% more damage is a strong mechanic. It's Veteran Smuggler Chewbacca. Whenever another ally uses his ability on their turn, Veteran Smuggler Chewbacca assists, dealing once per turn, dealing 50% more damage. So if you have him modded for damage, maybe he hits pretty hard, but I don't recommend that for any Resistance team, maybe like a Dash team or something. And then the only one I put in the bad is because Resistance Pilot is just not a good character. Resistance Pilot gains 50% turn meter when other allies use a special on their turn. Never going to come into play, never going to change any matchup. It's a bad character. Rose Tico is the clear winner for the Resistance level 6 or Resistance level 9. Don't even think about Resistance Pilot. So that is going to wrap up the Resistance level 9. Let's move on to Inquisitors. So for the Inquisitors, you're going to see one later on, but the strongest one out of all of them that are on this current slide is going to be Second Sister, and I'm going to explain why. Whenever an enemy is inflicted with a debuff, Second Sister gains 5% offense stacking until they are defeated. So if you're using a Reva lead and you have Grand Inquisitor, they all have 6 stacks of Purge. So that's 6 times 5. That's a lot. And you do the 5% offense, she can hit pretty hard. That's how I'm reading it. I'm pretty sure when they start the battle that they're being inflicted with a debuff. So I'm pretty sure that's ramping up Second Sister's offense. So keep an eye on this because that could be pretty good. I don't think it's going to outweigh the other one listed later, but not bad if you roll it first or if you can't pull the other one. This could be pretty surprising, not going to lie. The next one I put in the decent is Marok, and it reads, whenever Marok deals damage to an enemy, remove 25% turn meter from that enemy. The cool thing about this is that it could fit perfectly on a Balin team because he's constantly attacking out of turn. So that means whenever he's constantly assisting, and whenever he's assisting, he has a chance of removing turn meter from an enemy. That's pretty good. I'm not going to lie, because whenever a mercenary ally uses a special ability, Marok assist, remove turn meter, that's pretty nice. I think it's pretty decent. The one that I put in the decent as well is Grand Inquisitor. It's really not good. I'm just putting it in decent because it's a banner recovery. Whenever Grand Inquisitor inflicts a debuff, they recover 25% of their max health and max protection. Limit once per turn. Never going to outweigh the Second Sister or the other one. Never. But in a situation, it helps recover banners. And I'm all about banner recovery. So if you have a Datacron that has any sort of that, it's going to be decent in my opinion. So that's why it's decent. And the only one I have in the bad, which I really just don't think it's going to be impactful, is Third Sister. Whenever Third Sister uses an ability, they deal more damage, max 100%, equal to half their potency percentage. This effect will only trigger if Third Sister has more than 0% potency. Not many players are going to mod their Third Sister with potency, so it's like not very impactful. I don't think it's very good. I really don't. But other ones are clearly the winners here. That is wrapping up the Inquisitors, guys. Let's move on to Nightsisters. Alright, Nightsister Level 9. This wordy one made me have to change the format of the slide. It's so freaking long. There's a couple strong ones, and I think they're going to be pretty good. The first one is actually a repeat of a focus Datacron that Night Trooper actually had previously. So, it's pretty good. I actually like it. It reads, at the start of battle, Night Trooper gains 75% potency and 25% speed until the end of the encounter. Whenever an enemy is inflicted with a stack of Blight, they inflict themselves with another stack, which cannot be copied or evaded, until the end of the encounter or until they fully recover their health. Whenever an enemy that already had Blight is inflicted with another stack of Blight by an ally, inflict Blight on another random enemy that doesn't have it, which cannot be evaded, copied, or resisted until the end of the encounter or until they recover their health. When Night Trooper uses Shambling Shot, they gain an additional 3 stacks of Blight, which cannot be copied or evaded until the end of the encounter. Whenever an ally or an enemy gains or is inflicted with Blight, Night Trooper recovers 20% health and gains 25% offense per stack for 2 turns. Wow, a lot of words. Typically, the lot of words, the wordy ones are very good. So, out of all the ones here, this could fit into a Dark Trooper Moff Gideon team. It could fit into a Great Mother team. It's clearly the winner for all of the Nightsisters, in my opinion. I don't think it's over-the-top game-breaking for any, it's going to make a counter insane. But it's very nice to have. It could be potentially annoying on defense. Next one in the strong category is Mother Talzin. Whenever Mother Talzin uses a basic ability on their turn, other allies gain 25% turn meter. That's a very strong mechanic. She's using her basic a lot because it's pretty much a splash kind of damage with the Plague. So not only are you dealing splash damage on your basic, but you're also granting your team 25% turn meter. That's pretty good. Not going to lie. I like that a lot for a regular Nightsister team. I hope they make a comeback. And the other one I'm putting in the strong category, because this could work pretty well in a Great Mother team, I think. And it's going to be Nightsister Acolyte. Whenever Nightsister Acolyte damages an enemy with a special ability and that enemy doesn't have Armor Shred, inflict Armor Shred for the rest of the battle. Whenever Nightsister Acolyte uses a basic ability and damages an enemy with Armor Shred, inflict Expose for 2 turns on that enemy, which cannot be evaded, which cannot be resisted. And Nightsister Acolyte gains protection of 50% stacking for 2 turns. Armor Shred's a great mechanic. It's not considered a debuff. I've learned that the hard way. But being able to inflict Armor Shred means reducing their armor and defense. Very impactful, especially against a defensive meta that we're currently in from the previous set with no Armor Pen. Armor Shred is going to be very important to get through those 300% defense crons. Yes, Nightsister Spirit can ignore armor and defense, but if the battle goes wrong, inflicting Armor Shred is going to help get through that very high defense cron, so that's why it's in the strong. Then the one in the decent is Old Daka, and this one is the first time Old Daka goes below 100% health, recover 100% health and protection, and gain 100% turn meter. I like this one, but it's not game-breaking like the other ones, because Old Daka is typically the Nightsister you want to go for first, because she is going to revive the whole team. So this is kind of like a mini savior mechanic for her. So not anything, game-changing, but pretty nice to have. And the only bad one, this is probably one of the worst ones of the set, is the first time Talia falls below 30% health. They dispel all debuffs in themselves, recover 40% health, and gain a bonus turn. Talia is not a good character, not game-breaking at all. It's actually a very bad level 9 for her. Don't recommend it at all. That's going to conclude the Nightsister level 9s, guys. Let's move on to Ewoks. Next up is the Ewok level 9s, and I mean, they look good on paper, but it's just not going to do anything. There's clearly one strong one compared to the rest. It's the Chief Chirpa one. It's a repeat of the Barriss one we're currently dealing with. The first time Chief Chirpa is defeated, if there is at least one active ally, revive all other defeated allies, and other allies recover 100% health, protection, and gain 100% turn meter and 100% offense until the end of the battle. It's very good. Very good on paper, very strong mechanic. The problem is it's Ewoks. I mean, unless there's something I'm missing that Ewoks are going to counter, I don't know. It's situational. You're going to have to rely on Chirpa to die. And it's just not that... It's the best one of the set. But again, the Ewoks one, it's not going to do anything. Then we got a couple of decents here. And the first one is Ewok Scout. Ewok Scout deals 5% more damage per relic amplifier level on all allies present at the start of the battle. It's nice. He's an attacker. If you have your Ewoks at Relic 9, sure. But everyone's going to have their Ewoks at Relic 5, and it's not going to do anything. But it's still good on paper. Next up is the first time Papalu is defeated. They revive with 100% health. Gain health over time, 75% for 2 turns, and take a bonus turn. He's a tank. You go to target the tank. He's going to get a revive. Nice. Very nice, but it's decent. Then we got Nissa. Whenever Nissa critically hits an enemy, Nissa gains 10% critical damage, defense, pen, and offense, stacking max of 200% to the end of the battle. She needs to get to that point to be able for it to work. So if she can get to it, if she's able to get to these, critical hits, yeah, she's going to do well. The whole point is that what are these Datacrons going to do to help her get to that point? Nothing. So it's decent. And the only bad one here is Logray. Logray has 5% max health protection per relic amplifier level, and damage they receive is decreased by 15%. Won't do a thing for you. If you roll that, I'm sorry. That's not going to help. I don't even recommend rolling any of the Ewoks to level 9. If you get an Ewok level 6, I'd re-roll it to something else. That's just my opinion. But guys, that's going to wrap up all of the faction level 9s. We're now going to go into a very cool category that I call OP, which are the clear winners for the set. And let's see what we came up with. All right, the OP category. There's clearly 2 that stand out from the rest, in my opinion. And the first one is going to be bonkers. I mean, this is insane. Scavenger Ray. Ray Scavenger deals 25% more damage per relic amplifier level on all allies. I mean, this is an annihilate times 10. Can you imagine this on an unaligned force user team or a Ray team? I mean, she is going to hit so hard. That is, I didn't do the math, but I'm pretty sure it's like 1,000 damage. Someone said at Relic 9. It's bananas, absolutely bananas. Definitely one you're gonna want to go for. She's gonna surprise a lot. It's definitely gonna surprise a lot of people and players this set. It's just insanity. And the next one it's a repeat, but I think it's the clear winner out of all the rest of the level 9s. It's the Nightsister one, and it is at the start of the encounter, all Inquisitor allies gain 200% max health, and they're immune to ability block. Nightsister deals 20% bonus true damage based off her max health with her basic ability if the target enemy is inflicted with Purge. If an enemy has 6 stacks of Purge when Nightsister is defeated for the first time, she consumes all stacks of Purge from a random enemy with 6 stacks of Purge, recovers 100% health, max protection, and removes 50% turn meter from all enemies. That's a really good mechanic. Very good. It's going to shut down actually quite a bit of counters. It can actually shut down Phoenix. So, Inquisitors, you're going to need a different counter. And 200% max health, Sith Empire might have a hard time. You might time out. So, get ready for Inquisitors to make a comeback. Get ready for Scavenger Ray to be the most broken Datacron of the regular set this season. So, that is going to wrap up the regular Datacron set. We're now going to get into the really fun part, which is the Focus Datacrons, and rank them in order. Focus Datacron time. Focus Datacrons. Not as impactful as the current one we're dealing with, but still good to know about going forward. In 4th place, clearly in my view, is going to be 50R-T, also known as Shorty. And I know it's probably controversial, but I really just don't think it's going to be as good as the other ones. The level 3s are pretty good. Like, the level abilities are nice, but the stats, we'll get to it. The level 3 reads, whenever a droid ally dispels a buff or debuff, all droid allies gain critical damage up and offense up for 3 turns, which cannot be dispelled. Pretty good. That's pretty good on, like, a Grievous team or maybe, like, an SM-33 situation. We gotta see. Whenever a droid ally gains stealth, other weakest non-stealth droid allies gain 100% defense and max protection for 2 turns. That's a pretty strong level 3. So the level 3 is nice. The level 3 is pretty good to have. Just, the level 9, I don't know. The level 6 is T3M4. Whenever T3M4 critically hits an enemy, T3M4 gains damage immunity for 1 turn, which can't be copied, 25% turn meter, blinds an enemy for 1 turn, which cannot be evaded or resisted. If the enemy was target locked, T3M4 also gains a protection up 100%, retribution, speed up for 2 turns. So, on paper, it sounds pretty good. I just don't know where T3M4 is going to slot in. Like, on a Shorty lead, I don't know. I don't know if Shorty lead is going to be that impactful. I feel like you could still get taken out by Bad Batch, but Anyway, it's not bad. And the level 9 is a repeat. We've seen it quite a bit before. While 50R-T is active, at the start of 50R-T's turn, apply spare parts to all other droid allies that do not have it. Whenever droid allies gain spare parts, all droid allies gain 25% offense stacking for the rest of the encounter. Whenever a droid ally is defeated, dispel all debuffs on 50R-T. So, we've seen it before. It's pretty good, but it's not as impactful as you're thinking. It's easily beaten by Bad Batch. It's just, we're going to have to see. I think the level 3 is pretty good. The level 3 is pretty good to have. The stats are pretty decent. But I don't think it's as good as the other stats we're going to mention later. You're getting 75% critical avoidance when it's maxed out, 125% defense, which is the best stat here, and then 150% potency. So, we have to see. Maybe this is used on an Afra team. Maybe Afra will utilize this Datacron to take out Jabba again, or something. We have to figure it out. Maybe Leia with R2. We will have to play around and see. But for me, this is clearly the 4th place in the Focus Datacron department. So that's gonna wrap up 4th place. Let's move on to 3rd place. The winner of 3rd place is going to be Wampa, and I will explain why later. But the Cron reads, the level 3, whenever Wampa uses an ability, they deal more damage equal to half their tenacity percentage, max 100% more damage. This effect will only trigger if Wampa has more than 0% tenacity. The good thing is that many players mod Wampa with tenacity, so this is actually going to be impactful. You're either going to have a mod for max health or tenacity. So if you have a mod for tenacity, really good. He's going to be dealing a lot more damage. The level 6 is whenever an enemy is inflicted with a debuff, Wampa gains 100% offense stacking until they are defeated. The good thing is that Wampa applies dots all the time. So that's 5% offense stacking. He's going to be quickly getting his damage up way faster from those dots. So that's pretty good to have. Pretty good. The level 9. If there are no other active allies at the start of battle, Wampa's Omicron ability is active in TW. He gains 100% defense, max health, and max protection. He's immune to daze and stun. Whenever he attacks out of turn, he ignores protection. That's pretty good. And if you're a big TW player, hopefully this can take out a number of teams. We're going to have to, find out. Ignoring protection is pretty strong. I mean, that is a really strong mechanic. But it's pretty exciting. I'm not going to lie, it's pretty fun. But for me, I think the clear winner with this Focus Datacron is the stats. And the stats are 100% offense, 100% critical damage, and 150% armor pen. With a Datacron set that has no armor pen, and with a current set that has high defense, this is going to be pretty impactful for some of those annoying pesky teams. So I think that's why this is the clear winner for me for 3rd place, is the stats alone. And the thing is Wampa, are these going to help Wampa change any counters that he can't already beat? So maybe this will just amplify the counters he can beat to make them easier. But like, if you have a team that has tenacity down or an unresistible stun, it's saying he's immune to stun, so maybe, and that's only in TW, I think. But still, the tenacity down, it could be a potential problem for Wampa. We're gonna have to see how this plays out. I think this is only really applicable to TW. But we're going to have to find out. I still think Wampa's pretty good, but it's going to be the 3rd place one. Let's move on to the 2nd place. The Focus Datacron in 2nd place is going to be Rebel Officer Leia Organa, and it's actually really good. I was maybe putting it at 1st, but I think it's 2nd because I think the 1st one's really fun. The level 3 is probably one of the strongest out of all the Focus Datacron level 3. It's probably the strongest. If there is no allied galactic legend, whenever light side allies use an ability, all other buffed allies assist. That's insane. That's actually insane. So, could you imagine like a Zori team with this? Maybe you don't even use a Zori team with the regular Datacron set. Maybe you use this Focus Datacron. It's bananas. A really strong mechanic. Level 6 is whenever a Rebel ally attacks out of turn, they dispel all debuffs on themselves. A lot of Rebel teams attack out of turn. A Leia team, a CLS team. Pretty strong. The level 9 is Meh. Hoth Rebel Soldier. Hoth Rebel Soldier has 5% max health protection per relic amplifier level, and damage they receive is decreased by 15%. Not a good character. Don't recommend gearing him up for this. Not important. Don't do it. The level 12, Captain Han Solo. Whenever another ally is defeated, Captain Han Solo takes a bonus turn, and their cooldowns are reset. Pretty strong. If you're not focusing Captain Han, he's going to be able to get constant revives, so that's a pretty strong mechanic. I just don't know if this could fit into like a Leia team. We're going to have to see. The level 12 might have to be ignored. And the 15 is Rebel Officer Leia Organa. Whenever another ally uses an ability on their turn, Rebel Officer Leia Organa assists, dealing 1%, dealing once per turn, dealing 50% more damage. So it's pretty good. Not game changing by any means, but I think the real crazy thing is going to be the stats, guys. The stats are crazy. 100% critical avoidance, 100% health, 120% armor pen, and 100% defense. I think this, like, just screams Leia. Or, like, even Rey. Like, it's just crazy how strong the stats are. 100% critical avoidance, I mean, you're not going to get crit. You cannot get crit with 100% critical avoidance unless it's over 120% or 101% critical chance. So, that's insane. The health, very hard to deal with. Armor pen, you're going to hit hard. And then defense. Like, the stats are phenomenal. Very, very good. That's why it's clear second place for me. But we got to talk about first place. And I think first place is going to be a ton of fun, and I'm excited for it. Let's get to it. In first place, and the clear winner for me, in my opinion, is going to be Darth Vader. This thing looks bananas, and it actually looks really fun. I'm not going to lie. Even on defense and offense, this could be really cool. The level 3 is Snowtrooper. Whenever an ally takes a bonus turn, all allies recover 20% health and protection, and Snowtrooper gains 20% offense stacking until the end of the battle. So, Darth Vader takes a bunch of bonus turns. That's literally free health and protection recovery, and Snowtrooper is going to be getting unlimited offense ramping. Like, he's going to hit so hard if you can ramp this thing. Really strong level 3. Level 6 is Colonel Stark. At the start of battle, if Darth Vader is in the leader slot, he gains the Imperial Trooper tag for the rest of the battle. Colonel Stark gains 100% defense, max health, and max protection until the end of the battle. Pretty strong. Vader's getting the Trooper tag, so he's going to benefit for Piet's, unique. We have Colonel Stark gaining a bunch of tanky stats for some survivability. I really like it. The level 9 is Veers. Whenever an enemy is inflicted with a damage over time, Ruthless Assault gains 2% bonus damage stacking until the end of the battle, and all allies recover 5% turn meter. I mean, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Ramping damage, recovering turn meter. I mean, that's pretty good to have. I think that's a really strong level 9. The level 12 is probably the weaker one out of the rest, but it's still not bad. Whenever Admiral Piet deals damage to an enemy, remove 25% from that enemy. 25% turn meter from that enemy. This could tie in well, I guess, with Vader's leadership, because he's going to be able to remove turn meter with his lead Zeta. So I guess this could have good ties into just completely removing turn meter from everybody. I think a lot of people are missing that Vader's leadership can remove turn meter. And then the really fun level 15, which I think they have to reword because it's not worded correctly, is Darth Vader. At the start of battle, if the only active allies that Darth Vader has consist of any number of the following allies, Admiral Piet, Stark, Veers, or Snowtrooper, then the following effects are active. Darth Vader can't be defeated. I think they have to reword that to say Darth Vader can't be defeated unless unless he's the only one on the battlefield. I think that's what needs to be said. And then the other one, this is insane. Whenever an ally is defeated, Darth Vader dispels all debuffs on himself, resets all his cooldowns, and takes a bonus turn. It's insanity. I mean, you could cheese this incredible amount on offense. So you're going to take a bunch of turns. Like, I think this might be better on offense. I don't know if the AI is going to play correctly on defense. But if any of your sides go down, you're getting a bonus turn. You cannot be defeated. It's very strong. I really think this is going to be the best one of the set. Really excited for it. And the stats are very good for the team as well. Defense, 150% for survivability. I love it. 140% critical damage. Vader's Culling Blade, with the other ramping damage from the other, 3, 9. It's just insane how good this is going to be. And then the 60% potency is very helpful for Vader because he relies on those dots to be applied. So 60% potency is just going to help him apply those dots. I don't know about you guys, but I am really excited for this one specifically because I love Darth Vader. Awesome character, great in the lore, cool, original character. He's making a comeback. I hope that he can get to his, old self where he's wiping out GL Ray and stuff like that. I really hope that this actually is impactful in Grand Arena. But on paper, it looks absolutely bananas. So that is going to wrap up the Focus Datacrons, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this. We got one more slide for you. It's my Datacron Set 23 cheat sheet that is going to be available in Discord. And you guys will be able to access that and show it off to your guild or anyone around. So let's get to the cheat sheet. And here is Vexatron's Datacron Set 23 cheat sheet. You're going to have this infographic listed in my Discord. So if you guys want to join my Discord, it's going to be in the description down below in the infographic section. Come and hang out. Really awesome group of guys. We talk about Grand Arena and stuff like that. But you will be able to access this cheat sheet down there. I'm just going to hide my webcam for 1 second so you can see everything. But this is my recommendation for the set. Your Focus Datacron order. What teams you want to go for. All of it. This is all listed here. So, guys, I hope you enjoyed this Focus Datacron video. I know it's very long. There's so much to talk about. And there's a ton of things that we just, had to address. Really fun stuff. Great meta. I think the clear winner is going to be the Lightside Level 3s. That's the most important thing for this whole entire set. So, definitely recommend that. But anyways, please, I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys did enjoy it, please leave a like in the video. Comment all your comments in the comment section down below. What did I get right? What did I get wrong? Very curious about the community's opinion. And if you're not already, subscribe to the channel to become a Knight of X. And I'll see you guys in the next video. May the Force be with you all.